Debate amongst friends. Here we are, Wednesday. Doc here, coming at you live with my man, the Professor John Gotti, the king of RNG, the troll master, the data analyzing ninja, the conqueror of his own fate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the cleaner.
The best podcasting machine. El Tranquilo.
What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, brother?
Well, there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of things going off. And the one thing that went off was this particular Atlanta Hawks team that said, we like our freaking water room temperature. We left the ice tray in the freezer, and we said, we're gonna drink the water room temperature. Johnny, I had the privilege of having reads.
You did?
Yesterday, I said on this podcast, Milwaukee cannot allow themselves to take the Hawks for granted if Trae Young does not play. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You saw it. Trae Young did not play, and the Hawks, the young Hawks, the bench Hawks, the savvy veteran Hawks dominated the Milwaukee Bucks. But of course, that's not the headline, Johnny, right?
No, it's not. And just before you finish off with that, this is now the second straight series. Well, actually, now both series in which both Doc and Prop both said the team that needed to really, put their staple in there,
punch it home,
did not.
Did not. But the major news, really overshadowing how dominant the Hawks were before this happened.
It didn't overshadow it.
I thought it. I think the media overshadowed. It didn't overshadow it for us because we love basketball.
I would say that it exposed the Bucks.
Didn't expose anything to me because I said that yesterday. I just said this.
I know.
That's why I'm saying I just said it.
Everyone else because the only time people want to listen to the show is when we make a outlandish read about a player and then he decides he wants to drop 30-something points.
But see, here's the thing about that. I said this yesterday. Number one, I said, I posed a question, is Giannis losing his superstar status, right? I said this yesterday. You said no, the media will not let him. Now, he will rise back up to the superstar status because if the Bucks now lose the series because he can't play, that elevates his stock. But what does that do for what I said about Middleton yesterday? It says you can't potentially build a team around Chris Middleton. He has to play that Robin, right? Yep. Or this goes to what you said and exposes Mike Budenholzer, who was like, Mike Budenholzer looked like the coach from I'm sorry, I had to compose myself. He looked like freaking Bud Kilmer from freaking High School Football movie. Yes, I'm talking about Charlie Tweeter. I'm talking about Lance Harbor. Yes, yep. I'm talking about my man, John, not Gotti.
Nope.
Right? Not Gotti, but Moxon.
Am I now crazy to say that no matter what, Mike Budenholzer needs to be fired? Like, I've been saying this.
Varsity Blues, sir, is what I saw in his face. It was the exact moment when Lance Harbor went down and the whole crowd kind of was just sitting there with tears.
Yo,
did you like the dramatic pause there? Like, I wanted to make sure you enjoyed the dramatic pause there. Varsity
was,
Blues is what?
You could drop a pin in that arena last night. It was just dead. Like, I know people like to make fun about Derrick Rose and what happened with him in Chicago, but like, yeah, I don't understand how real it gets. Like, when he went down again and people started saying, no, like, that's real.
No, it is.
I get trolls want to troll, and good on you, but like, wow. So yes, the Giannis knee. It's not even an injury because we don't know exactly what's going on yet.
Well, they said he hyperextended it. I mean, I saw it,
and I was gonna get to that part in a second.
So, yeah, I definitely saw that.
Right
you mean when they first saw it, they were like, "Oh my god!" Like,
yeah, people thought that
his career is over.
Absolutely cracked the kneecap and like because it did look brutal, but it was a hyperextension. I mean, but
one extra, step or 1 inch further, and we're looking at that Paul George kind of just like all over again. That leg just kind of snaps. But carry on.
So we don't know the extent of the actual injury. We know that it's hyperextended. Hyperextension is not an injury.
Yeah, it's really not. It's what comes from the hyperextension.
Exactly. And of course, I can't speak so much on that. Doc, of course, he had these type of injuries in the past. It can absolutely destroy your knee, MCL, ACL, meniscus. Right. Like there's so much stuff that's happening. And what I am happy about is the fact that they chose not to bring him back into the game, which is what I was texting you about yesterday during the game last night. I mean, because if he was to come back in that game and get hurt further, Budenholzer's fired, the whole staff is fired, the GM's fired. Are you kidding me?
Well, to be honest with you, you know who the first person that probably called him was, right?
Who?
Kawhi Leonard. He was like, "Man, I know you want to go back out there, but you're too young to be going out there playing this game. And I don't even know where you are right now." I'm sorry.
I don't think this is a laughing matter.
But he would have tried to make him. But Kawhi and Kevin Durant. You got a couple people that probably, I know LeBron obviously tweeted and all that stuff, but they probably called him and say, "Hey, listen, take care of yourself," right? Yep. Giannis is a young guy, so I think if I'm him, I'm thinking to myself, like, I know you're so close, to going to the finals, and you're thinking to yourself, I have to be strong and I have to be there for my team, but this is where your team has to step up and somebody else has to step up.
He's 23 years old. He's hitting his stride in his prime right now. Honestly, win or lose, like, don't play anymore, honestly.
Yeah, I can agree. If you're not healthy, don't do it. Especially against, like I said, John Collins and freaking Clint Capella. I just feel like they should be able to beat the Hawks, man. Like, I know it's hard without Giannis because he does so much for the team. But with the likes of Bobby Portis, obviously Brook Lopez would have to step his game up. They got some pretty solid people. Obviously you have a younger Antetokounmpo on the team. I mean, he might not be as skilled, but hey, maybe he can.
Don't put that out there. Don't do that to him.
He's not as skilled, but he's not as skilled. I'm being honest.
And I understand that, but I don't want people to have the preconceived misconception.
People already have the preconceived notion that he's an Antetokounmpo.
Oh my, that's so stupid.
We can have double Greek freaks. Greek freak the second.
Doc, you mentioned how the Hawks win to tie the series 2-2 was overshadowed with the Giannis injury. And I sort of disagree with you. So for me, it just showed, and this is something that Doc talked about at the start of the playoffs. What is it that you really see in the playoffs? You see who has the most heart, who has the most will, the most determination to win. even before Giannis's injury, Milwaukee did not have heart in this game. They did not have will in this. They were trailing pretty much throughout the whole game.
You said two magical words in the beginning of your statement. You said to me or for me, representing John Gotti, the basketball purist, not a casual like some of these other people, but a true fan of the game. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been saying this since the Hawks. Really, I didn't say it during the Knicks series, but I said this
You
during
said
the
this
Hawks,
during the
during
the
the
76ers.
76ers, right? Control John Collins and Clint Capella, you win the game. Obviously, no Trae Young. You got Bogdanovich. You got Lou Williams. You have Clint Capella. You still got John Collins. You got Kevon, right? Then you have Cam Reddish coming back from injury. You got Gallinari. Um, I like Agangyu, I think it is. I think it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Forgive me if Agangyu. He's a pretty solid player as well. But I'm going to say this. The fact that those guys stepped up in absence of Trae Young, holding Middleton to 16 points, 6 or 17 from scoring, zero of 7 from the 3-point line is, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. 2 for 7 for Drew Holiday from 3. Again, Giannis before the injury, 24 minutes, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Obviously, he was on his way to a pretty significant game prior to the injury. He was shooting 70%, so it was pretty good. You made some notice of his airballed free throws, which he went 0 for 3. Like I said, I just feel like this is just a game where Milwaukee, they came in. I think they put so much emphasis on stopping Trae Young that this might have just been a game that they just decided to take. It's kind of like taking a pitch. And I know it's ridiculous, but I feel like they took a pitch on this one just to see what.
Did you, Doc? Let me see if I understand this.
Yeah, go for it. It sounds crazy, but
did you just compare taking a pitch at one at bat to an entire game in a 7-game series?
I did. They took one just to see what
that is
the Hawks.
Major hit by pitch.
No, it's not a hit. No. I'm not talking about taking a hit. I didn't say take a hit. I'm saying taking a pitch. Like sometimes you take one, you let the pitcher just throw it to see what he has. Like that's taking a pitch, not taking a hit, but just taking the pitch.
Gotcha.
0-1 or listen, they're up to
watching the pitch.
Yeah,
to see
think about it. Okay. 2 balls, 1 strike, right? 2 balls, 1 strike. You take one.
Up in the count.
Yeah, you take one just to see what they got, because you don't know what you don't know. You Mike Budenholzer probably didn't even have a strategy. He probably just told his guys they don't got Trae Young, go out there and just do what we did last game.
I got something to tell this
about that one.
Real quick. Yeah, let me tell you about Mike Budenholzer's strategy. It doesn't exist. He has no.
It could exist.
No.
I don't know if this team was built around what he wants or if it was built around something completely different. Maybe this is what Giannis wants.
In fact, someone on Twitter, a Bucks fan, apparently he was a Bucks fan. I made sure to verify with his other tweets, not like the past few days, but like the past few years. He said Mike Budenholzer is the NBA version of Jason Garrett and freaking Dallas.
So he just
called him a clapper.
Wow. So he's got nothing, you're saying?
He got nothing.
Dang. And again...
You want me to tell you why? Because as much as we say this about the Clippers, Tyler made the adjustments.
Yeah. He did. And again, I mean, obviously losing Zubac was kind of rough, but taking Batum out, removing Marcus Morris out for the one game and putting him to the bench. I mean, it's like you do have to just shuffle around, but in this situation, Obviously, Mike B is just, he's looking through this roster, and now you got to sit there and say, who's going to be the guy? It has to be Chris Middleton. It has to be Drew Holiday. You're
Yep.
most likely going to bring Bobby Portis up, right? Because PJ Tucker is not hitting the corner three consistently. Even though he didn't want to do it in Houston, he's still not shooting as well as he used to from the corner three. So you can't really rely on him to get you no more than the 8 points, maybe 10 that he gets you. Um, but we're going to have to see more of the old Brook Lopez in the block doing post moves on Clint Capella, right? We're going to have to see Chris Middleton take that next step to superstardom. Like that's what we're going to have to see. Or Johnny, guess what? This series, it's over if they can't do that.
I still think this might go 7.
Without Giannis, I don't think so. I will say this. I think obviously Giannis is more important than Trae Young, right?
Of course.
And I say that because, as I just mentioned previously, Bogdanovich, scorer. He's streaky, but he's a scorer. We already know what Captain Lou gonna give you. I mean, he can do it, right? Lou Williams can do it. Cam Reddish, young player, but we know his pedigree. And which I think is the all-time, or I guess the major factor here is Gallinari. Because between
Yes.
Gallinari, Bogdanovich, and I'll say Kevon,
I will agree.
I feel like if you can't contain those three guys, this goes beyond Clint Capella and John Collins now. Those three guys now are the key. Lou Williams is going to get buckets. We know that. But Gallinari, Bogdanovich, and Kevon are the guys now that the Bucks have to stop. But how can they? Who steps up now to play defense against those guys? You're losing one of your best defenders. PJ Tucker now is going to have to go against who are you going to stop? You want to take out Bogdanovich, PJ? That's fine. Lou Williams will dominate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who does PJ now guard? Who's Middleton? So that's where this series is going to be won and lost. I just feel like without Giannis, that defensive, I would say, anchor, Atlanta might, if he doesn't play, Atlanta might win the next 2 games.
I agree with
If that
prediction.
hyperextension is as bad as it looked, it's over. But here we go. Just a quick quote, right?
Go for it.
PJ Tucker says, "We just thought we were going to walk in and win the game. We didn't do anything to show that we wanted to win this game. We were flat, and our guy's injury was just another piece of the puzzle to us losing."
That speaks on bad coaching. Literally, that just speaks on bad coaching.
I mean, Middleton. We'll see what happens with Giannis. It would be great if he plays, but if not, we still have a capable team of going out there and winning. That's an attitude that you should have.
Of course.
But
again,
what PJ Tucker said,
it starts with this team begins and ends with Giannis. And it's a shame to say that because it shouldn't have to be that way.
No, it shouldn't be.
But it is.
It really is.
I know this. And you know this, Doc.
Oh, yeah.
The only people who don't know this yet are the Bucks fan base, actually.
Well, again, not all fan bases are as hard on their teams as us, obviously. You know me. I mean, they're buns until they're not, right? And even at that point, they're still buns.
They're still buns to you, even though they won.
When have they not been buns? When have they not been buns?
We're not gonna
exactly.
Go
exactly. Let's not go there because the team is buns. I'm gonna tell them that they're buns.
Hey.
And they're not playing up to their capability.
I already warned you about how my Knicks were heading into the playoffs, so.
And I disagreed heavily.
Hey, it's fine. So tonight.
Yes, tonight. We
6.
have Game 6, exactly. In LA, which I feel like it should be over. It's just the way that Phoenix plays. One game they come out kind of next game they come out really clicking on all cylinders. I think I'm going to try my best to stay awake. I hate these West Coast games, man. Like they're always so late. At least it's not like 11 o'clock
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say it's
10:30.
not like a 9 o'clock start time for like
Yeah,
Central Time for me. It's 8 o'clock, which isn't bad.
yeah. But at 9 o'clock sometimes can be pretty rough on ESPN. I'm gonna do my best to watch it because I believe.
Here's the problem now. Now the Clippers have confidence.
You know something? I could see why you would say that, Johnny. I could see why you would say the Clippers have confidence. But let me tell you about confidence. It's a scary thing because they can be overconfident.
Of
And
course.
I don't think there's a reason for them to be overconfident. Yes, they've won 2 games. Yes, this is exactly what happened in the previous series. But the
Previous 2
Suns,
series.
yeah, the Suns are not the team to go down, you know, 3-1 or 3. Like, this is just not the team that you can beat 3 times in a row convincingly. So it's not going to be easy. And I'm actually thinking that Phoenix is just going to close this out tonight.
I'm hoping
Uh,
so. I'm
nah, I'm
really
not
hoping
hoping.
what I
Hope is
said.
hope is for dope.
Well, I already told you what I said happened. Like they needed to win Game 5. If they won
I
Game
mean,
5, it would have helped them. It would have helped them both on a strategic level and in the eyes of many other casual critics, because of course they don't
honestly,
watch.
I just feel like it wasn't a good game. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton didn't play well. But I haven't seen him not play well 2 games back to back in the playoffs. So I just feel like this is the game where it's just gonna click. Phoenix is gonna go to LA just like they did Denver and beat them on their home floor. You just got a million? Oh, I thought you just got a
Okay, I
million.
see what you did there. All right, well,
No,
we'll
you
definitely
did
see
a
what
little
happens
thing.
tomorrow.
You did a little thing with your hand. I thought
Oh, I did that
you just
gambling
cashed a
thing.
check. I thought you cashed
The
$1 million check, and
gambling.
I thought
No, I
I
wish.
thought you went to Helen's office and she was telling us the check came in and it cleared, and I was like,
No,
yes.
no, but now that you mention it, Helen had to go to office today, and she heard yesterday's show, and
Yikes!
she was a little upset because, I was supposed to be that buffer for Doc not to say a lot of controversial things, but
I
she
said
she put
nothing.
she put me on warning, so I just have to be a little bit more cognizant. She just told me to make sure I drink some orange juice and
Wow.
make sure I just not be too sleepy for the next show.
Hey, and be sure to take your vitamins and say your prayers too. I mean, always do
Okay, we're
that.
not gonna go there because we all
Exactly.
know that
You'll
it
talk about
wasn't.
controversy.
Yeah, that's a controversial
It wasn't
episode.
vitamins, right? Yeah, they come up with an excuse. Like, I get it. But I'm looking forward to the basketball game tonight. It feels like a Friday right now. I can't believe why it feels like this right now. I don't know what it is, but I was gonna say, be sure to tune in next week, right? But it's definitely tomorrow. But I know you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform. If you didn't, you can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com. Be sure to tune in Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we go over more news, more analysis, and the reads.